name is Juan Calero, and then I'm a CAS senior, and I'm class of 2018, yeah. Well, right now I'm head of student government, obviously, so student government assembly. Um, but then organizations I still consider myself a member of is Lucha, Latinos Unidos con Honor y Amistad, La Herencia Latina, which plans Latina Heritage Month, Por Colombia, obviously, which is the Colombian national slash diaspora club on campus, and pretty much in general, just like all the Latin American diaspora clubs on campus. In general, I would like to say like pretty much all the black and brown organizations on campus. So I try to go out of my way to like help a lot of the organizations that focus on people from the global south in some capacity, whether we're talking about um, trying to help like the Latin American organizations get together, the African diaspora organizations, especially at a school like NYU where everything's so decentralized. All of us are going through so many different struggles because NYU just doesn't make sense to most people, to everyone really. I think like looking back, at least for myself, like for me, influential meant kind of like creating community as kind of like a foremost thing. So like walking away from NYU and realizing that there's now kind of like a system in place for people to feel like they belong, at least like in little bubbles, you know? And also just kind of like challenging the university to like do better. My mom and my dad, whenever they were raising me, they were kind of like aggressive of both instilling the sense of like Latinidad, Colombian identity, not denying like my racial heritage, black, white, indigenous, all that jazz. Um, but then on the other hand, they kind of like were very strict about teaching me kind of like various things, like everything that they could possibly impart in me regarding like how the world works, so to speak. So like growing up, my bedtime stories were like different cultural mythologies or like different religious histories of like different traditions. Um, so that was always like a cool part of my life. So definitely shout out to my parents. I guess like people I admire, aspire to be. There's these two saints in particular, Saint Augustine and Saint Athanasius. Saint Augustine because he was like ratchet as hell, complete hot mess. Was literally just like his whole backstory is like he was just doing drugs and like hoeing around for like literally his entire youth, and then at a certain point he was like, wait a minute, this is should probably stop doing this, and that was partially because of his mom, and that relates a lot to me. And then Saint Athanasius, because he was his nickname when he was alive was Saint Athanasius contra mundum, so against enemy of the world, against the world. Um, and just like he was so hardcore about his beliefs and hardcore about being like anti-imperialist, anti-establishment in large part that he was like exiled from the Roman Empire like I think like 10 times over the course of his life. Oh, and then add to that third saint, San Juan de la Cruz, who was like this Spanish mystical dude who was just like so tired of like the Vatican's crap that he rebelled against like the Carmelite order. It was like this whole thing, but he was like jailed in like what was then the most like high security prison in all of Spain, and then he somehow managed to escape and was just like on the run from the Inquisition for like years on end, and now he's canonized. So it's just like I don't know. To me, definitely like there's a spiritual element to revolution that I think is very very important in terms of like the way politics should go in terms of like challenging establishment and all that jazz. And then on just to be like dramatic, so on a national political level, Toussaint Louverture and then also Simon Bolivar are like two political revolutionaries, I guess, that are I don't know, to me, like I almost kind of like canonize them personally. Like I have little images of them on my altar, next to like all the saints and all that jazz. Just because it's like, one, without Haiti, without like the original like Black Revolution of Haiti and just kind of like establishing itself as that force, and one that like was actively claiming their native descent, even though that was always like tenuous and like complicated. Um, that kind of like is what inspired Simon Bolivar and like all his little friends to kind of like create what is now Latin America, you know? So yeah, I think there's definitely like I could go on forever, but there's just like a centrality for me about these like revolutionary militant type figures, these revolutionary spiritual type figures, and kind of like a sense of family for me about like how I'm influenced and who influences me. Yeah, so at the moment I'm at a crossroads, I would say. Not sure, I can't say definitively where I'm going. I'm currently planning to apply to med schools in Colombia, just because I want to go back to the motherland, and I realize I still care about medicine and want to do medicine. I think what NYU taught me when I was a pre-med biochemical engineer person was that I just don't want to do research. So there's that, but I still care about medicine. But if that doesn't work out for whatever reason, I don't know. I think maybe law school, PhDs. Like I was doing the LSAT over the summer, and one of my faculty advisors, he hit me up on Twitter actually, and he was just like, he's been very like affirming, yeah, about that I should apply for PhD programs, that I don't need to do a master's, my writing's good enough, my theories are good enough, all that jazz. So I don't know, kind of like I'm stuck in a crossroads between medicine, law, PhD, or a combination thereof.